Okay, guys, so we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Fate Weaver this evening, because tonight we are carrying on with our adventure of playing Ryan Vernier's outstanding Blackbirds Gothic Fantasy RPG. And this adventure is one we are calling The Truth in Ashes. And with me tonight is the full flock of Blackbirds, the stars of the Truth in Ashes campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, we've got Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Kenyon Maddox. He is he was a lieutenant in the Halloweds. Things have changed.
Yes.
He is what's the...
Path of Bow
and Blade, yeah. That's the one.
Very nice. Next up is our resident walker in the path of craft and expertise, Dave.
Hey everybody, I am not playing the path of craft and expertise though, because my character, Emerus Batch, is walking the path of shadow and subterfuge. And he was also in the army, past tense. And yeah. There's some interesting things that happened last week.
And last but certainly not least, joining us in the Carcass Nations for technically a second time in here, but first time in this adventure as well.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Naldo Vasari. He is a gentleman scholar and minstrel.
Very nice. So, guys, last session we kicked things off. Will, to give you some context for this, I think when we played our Blackbirds of Yule event a couple of years back, I think you were only able to play in the one session. That was one that had
yeah, I think I might have got one under my belt.
Yeah, and it was like 9 players or 8 players that session, so yeah. I think there was limited opportunity to really engage with the material. But this is the setting of our tale. This is the lands of Erebos. Erebos was the republic that ruled for about 1,000 years, and then 12 years ago there was a conflict that kicked off all across the republic called the War of Empty Thrones. And in our the location for our campaign in Elkland, it was locally known as the Betrayer's War, in part because it was a lord who was betraying the king at the time. But in the past 12 years, the number of betrayals and, allies who have turned on one another, families who have been riven apart by the conflict, the Betrayer's War could really just characterize many of the combatants involved in it. It has left Elkland utterly devastated by more than a decade of war. And then 2 years ago, there was an event, which I forgot the name of already again. Dave, you reminded me last time. Do you remember? It wasn't the Unkindling.
No.
It was...
Something Brotherhood, I thought.
Sorry, the Extinguishing. So there were gods in the lands of Erebos before Will... but they are dead. It turns out that the War of Empty Thrones was orchestrated as one of the parts of the plan of a group loosely known as the Oligarchs, a group of varied individuals who effectively stormed heaven and killed the gods, taking their power for themselves. Since that time, the Extinguishing 2 years ago, things have gone from bad to even worse. More creatures that were on the other side of the Fade, the Odd, would come in to the world and bedeviling things here. Creatures that were once servitors to the gods have gone mad or gone rogue and begun pursuing their own interests. And then one of the last groups of gods to die were the 3 Norns who sat beneath the World Tree, Yggdrasil. And when they died, and when the tree was cast to the ground, it even cast the seasons themselves into disarray. The Oligarchs are currently operating to a degree in the world, but some are so burdened by their divine inheritance that they can barely be thought to be, I mean, most of them can be barely thought to be human any longer, if at all. But they are not yet concluded in their horrible apotheosis, and when that comes to pass, it is a terror to think of what will befall the lands of Erebos. Right now, that is what has, well, I guess the one thing that, where there is a tiny bit of hope in the lands of Erebos is that when that tree fell, like birds flying from a toppling tree or startled at a loud sound, ashes of fate took flight from the falling Yggdrasil and have embedded themselves in otherwise unsuspecting agents. And those characters have become agents of fate. And in the game, we refer to them as Blackbirds. The world is a Gothic fantasy. It has elements of Lovecraftian horror, of dark fantasy, and of high fantasy. But the sense of hope in the setting comes from or at least what distinguishes your Blackbirds from the other denizens of the lands of Erebos, is that you are agents of fate. Our adventure takes place, or starts at least, in one of the city-states. I mean, it's not really a city-state, but with Elkland having fallen to civil strife, it might as well be. What do you guys recall about last session?
Well, is the name of the city Calic?
Carrick.
Oh, Carrick.
Yep.
Yeah. So it began, as Kevin's games often do, with a dream. We all woke from a shared dream of the city of Carrick burning and smoldering and the whole thing in ashes. And we basically had a conversation around breakfast and realized...
It was actually Naldo who prompted it, because Naldo was singing an idle song.
Oh, right. Naldo was singing about it.
Some of these... Do you guys recall any of the key aspects of the dream?
It was more than a dream. It was a vision.
It was a vision.
And because it was a vision and not just a dream, we know that it's going to come to pass. And there was, in this vision, a black tower.
Yes. Rising above the skyline of Carrick. But there was something unusual about that black tower in your dream, Dave. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, you said it was towering.
It was towering, indeed.
I do remember that.
There is no corresponding black tower in Carrick.
Right, it does not exist.
It does not exist near Carrick, but Kenyon knows some people who
House Teague.
House Teague to the east, to the west.
And to the west.
To the west.
That their family is the bastards of the Black Tower.
Yeah, and so their sigil includes the Black Tower. And so we all thought that... Oh, and we also learned that the Carrick falls because of a betrayal. There's some kind of a betrayal that happens, that because the city's under siege right now. It's completely surrounded. It's been under siege, but something happens that ends the siege, and we know it happens tonight.
Yeah. In the vision,
yes.
You saw the two moons full and towering above. Once again, I did it again, towering above the Black Tower. George, feel free to steal that verbiage. Nothing but class stuff. Looming above the Black Tower were the two moons of Erebos. And that was this evening.
Right. So we knew we had to act.
In very little time.
we talked a bit about how everyone knows one another, and one of the neat things that Naldo can do is, I can't remember if it's the toss a coin or... I think it's a toss a coin one, not the poison words, where you can basically, with a successful guile roll, you can ingratiate yourself with any level of society.
Yeah, Naldo can do that.
Naldo can do that. So what... when everyone was talking about the connections to one another last time, the collective consensus was that everybody likes you, Naldo.
Sounds about right.
You were all members of one of the mercenary groups in service to Duke Roderick Price. That was the Hallowed Hounds. Kenyon is a mercenary, or a lieutenant in the company. Emerus, although Kenyon actually has noble blood, he is descended from the House Maddox, one of the allies of Duke Harwood, out of the Principality of Lustow.
Yeah.
So there was some discussion about, because it's as Emerus says, it was a vision, it felt absolutely and utterly real. And it was only as you were composing this song idly that one of them was like, "What did you just say?" And when you talked about that, it became apparent. You guys all recall seeing one another. There is still yet another two figures who you have not yet made clear, but there was Emerus and Kenyon, and as well there was Tagwin, who we have met thus far. Tagwinides. What do you guys recall? That's Andrew's character. What can you tell Naldo about Tagwin?
She walks the path of craft and expertise in the game.
Yeah. She'd crafted a princely spear, or a kingly spear.
Yeah, the kind of thing that the House Price may pass down for generations. Something to celebrate a victory. It seems as if it was intended for Duke Roderick. Tagwin is a once-in-a-generation genius at smithing. And health, and things of medic nature as well. What do you guys recall?
Who was it that knew the way out? Was that also Naldo?
That was Emerus, I believe.
Yeah, I had some not underworld dealings, but like some knowledge of getting out of the city. Can't remember how it was about, sort of through bounty hunting or something like that.
I think you had overheard that there was in one side of the city, in one of the under one of the storehouses for one of the barracks, there was a tunnel that led out to the Shale Hills, and in the Shale Hills there is roughlands that will lead you, by following through those wild foothills, it'll lead you through to the lands of House Teague and to Black Tower.
And this is how we were going to escape the city, Will, so that our characters don't die in the siege and become part of Ash. So we made our way among different means to the barracks that hold the entrance to this tunnel out of the city, and you were delayed. We were waiting for a little bit, maybe 10 minutes, and you still hadn't arrived. So we had to make a decision. Do we wait for you or go look for you? Yeah, and so it was a unanimous decision to wait for you, of course.
Oh, of course it was, I'm sure.
By which I mean, once you were 10 minutes late, they were like, fuck it, let's go in.
Yeah, we were like, he's resourceful. Actually, that's how it came about. Naldo's resourceful, and he'll find a way out of the city if he doesn't have a way out already. And so we went into the barracks. Weird crap going on in there. So soldiers getting geared up, but all putting on like an armband, something to identify themselves versus their other groups within the army.
Yes.
Which rang false to some of us. And so I used a fate point actually as we were leaving the area to change the scene so that I had some kind of I had told somebody earlier to watch out for like a burning powder or a smoke or something.
No. That's you're going beyond what that may have been what you thought. What you did do is you grabbed a alchemical
different color.
Yes,
yeah.
There was no conversation with anyone else though.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was just hoping that it would alert somebody.
Precisely, yeah.
Some weird color, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I threw a bag of this alchemical agent on one of the braziers as we rushed out and locked the door behind us, hoping that would cause some alert.
Yeah.
Maybe change the course of history. I don't know. Who knows? But
you guys did also find before you were getting. I think that was the last thing you did after Naldo had arrived, because Naldo had arrived, managed to talk his way in. But how would you describe Naldo's presentation when he arrived?
Extremely stressed
and flustered.
Yeah.
He was not himself. In that he was also like easily thrown off by, was it Tagwin? Tried to grab him.
Yes.
Tried to get him to get.
There was a little altercation there.
He took a swing at her or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. She parried with her spear
at the door.
Yeah.
She had the spear wrapped up, and she like blocked your shot. And she's like, "What are you doing, man? Let's go." And you kind of shook your head and went. And we were like, "What's going on with Naldo? He's like totally rattled. Like something happened to him." And then we went through. So there's like a doorway that you would normally keep locked that leads to this tunnel to exit the city. And it was unlocked when we found it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was out of... I think I used a fate point to try and lock it from the outside.
Yes.
And try and secure
fortune point, not a fate.
Fortune point, sorry. Yeah. To lock it from the outside. And then we left there and headed down the tunnel. And that's where we kick off today.
Okay.
So we were running down the tunnel.
Yeah. And
whatever the heck happened to you, man, like, yeah.
So what we'll start with then is Naldo, why don't you give us a toughness check, please? And I think it was at plus 10.
Okay, so it'll prompt for a modifier?
It'll prompt for a modifier, yeah.
Okay.
They're like named of how difficult.
Yeah, I think I would say
is.
routine is plus 10, but I don't remember.
There it is, I see it. Okay.
Okay. Nice. So that means you're not, what we were rolling for is if you failed, you would be taking some peril potentially. So we'd roll peril damage, we compare it to your condition. Yeah, Emrys was the last one who stuck behind and locked the door. So he is currently down one on the condition track because I
used my fortune point and I didn't have a point to re-roll.
Yeah. All right. The way that the fortune points and misfortune points work, Will, too, is as you spend them, they go into each fortune point becomes a misfortune point. When I spend a misfortune point, it becomes a fortune point.
Is that 8 and 0 over there?
Correct. Yeah. And you should feel free to spend them freely because me having them is what makes some of the enemy abilities in particular quite fun.
So it's kind of like the
light side and dark side points, or
I was going to say, kind of like the fantasy flag.
Very similar to that. Yeah. It's a little, honestly, I think it's really clever because of by having everything front loaded with you guys. It puts a cap on the thing, so it's not quite like one of the issues with Doom and Momentum in some of the 2D20 games is like what inevitably ends up happening a lot of sessions. I get a shit ton of Doom, and then I finally spend it in big chunks. And this has a little bit more of a flow to it.
Give and take.
Yeah. And the special abilities, every adversary has a special ability that I can spend misfortune on. Have you any questions, Naldo? Or is your head still swimming with what you witnessed as you were beating up with your allies in Carrick?
Yeah. No, I think he's still kind of reeling with whatever it was he's trying to figure out.
So let's pick up with our heroes, our Blackbirds, running through this tunnel to reach the exit in the Shale Hills. Naldo, we'll give you a moment to think things over. So let's start with Kenyon. Kenyon, as you're racing along carrying one of those torches, you recall I think you had a little encounter, or you exchanged words with those men as well, didn't you?
I did, yes. I kind of, they were surprised that we were there. They were, oh, you're in on what's going on? We're like, yeah. So we just kind of went along with it. And then they were like, okay, what are you doing? We're like, oh, we just got to get something from here, wait for us. And then after we were leaving, we're like, no, just go, or whatever I think I said, because we realized that we were in trouble. So we sent them off.
So what's going through Kenyon's mind?
I think he is just worried. I mean, he's worried about all of them surviving, but he is very worried about Naldo.
Okay. And Emrys? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but he's glad that he's here, because there was question there that they were going to leave him behind, and that was not good. So
you can almost picture that apart from the cobbled floor beneath you, stone floor, and the stone walls, the timbered ceilings, you're effectively running in a little globe of light. It's so dark down here that it's just an utter blackness. And you can hear the sound of your footsteps as you're running along, or your boot steps, I should say, echoing up and down this thing. Have you given thought to what might happen if you see torches up ahead?
No, that probably, at this point, it's just a hope that we're ahead of them, and not even planning. I don't think at this point. It's just,
Okay.
I pray we're ahead of the incoming soldiers.
Emrys, what's going through your mind?
Well, I think Emrys is, first off, he's struggling a little bit to keep up with everybody, and I don't know if it's because he doesn't know if it's because he took too long trying to lock that door, or if he's just feeling guilty because he was pushing to not to leave Naldo behind, but to continue to move forward, I think is the way he's trying to phrase it in his head. But yeah, that whole idea of Naldo will find a way out. He was not really sold on that. He was trying to convince himself so that he could survive. Yeah, and that bothers him a little bit. So he's and then seeing Naldo's not himself, it's like, crap, maybe we should have all gone together or done this another way. Maybe he'd be okay.
Okay. And Naldo, we're gonna get into what has happened to you and what it was that you were exposed, but I'm not sure you can properly articulate what it is that you were exposed to or that you saw at this point. What is going through your mind as you're running along here?
He's probably trying to block out whatever that was. Is really probably where he is. He's not even trying to rationalize or think about it. He's just trying to focus on where we are, making sure he can see well, and staying with the group.
Yeah. So it is difficult to judge how long it is that you are running for. All you know is that your knees are sore, your feet are sore from running across the hard stone for as long as you have. Some of you, your lungs are burning worse than others, but you finally reach a matching set of those gates, and they seem to be unlocked as well.
Just immediately head through them.
Okay. So if you make your way through them, it is a much smaller area than what you saw before. If you can see as well, seems to be a trap door that is sectioning off where this is and leading out into wherever this opens up into.
Right. Probably there at the door is while I'll wait for everyone to catch up.
Okay. So you stop there. You at the top of the stairs. Do you have any weapons drawn or anything out right now? Anything else in your hand?
What is my weapon?
You're a sword and board guy, I believe.
Oh, so probably he's got the torch and his shield at this point then, if he's got a shield.
Okay.
Because it's probably easier to stow his sword and to hold the shield.
Okay. So you've got the torch, and you're at the top of the stairs. Everyone seems to have kept pace with you. Everyone is here and ready to go. As Kenyon looks down at each of your faces, what does he see? Is it determination? Is it fear?
It's definitely fear on mine.
Okay.
I think concern and maybe a little fear.
Okay. Kenyon, everyone's here. What are you
Should
guys
we
doing?
extinguish our torches before we go up in case they're...
How are we? Okay, yeah.
There is a
'Cause
bucket
it's
there that
not-
seems you can toss torches into.
It's
I mean,
not dark
otherwise we're
outside.
about to light a light. Like if this is in a forest or something, like we're just going to indicate our position immediately if...
Okay, and we're just gonna.
Amberus,
If we
why
come
don't you
out
give
of
us a survival check at, let's say, routine.
Okay.
Actually, let's say easy. Yeah. So you know that the Shale Hills are. You can expect to find a lot of pine trees, and once again, we're playing into a place that looks very much like, southern Alberta. So it is a lot of pine trees. It's not dense like primordial because like people have it's close to the town, so people hunt in here and whatnot. But you would expect that there would be cover for where you're coming out, but there is a chance that a light out might be spotted by either someone in Carrick or by one of the besieging armies that surround it.
Yeah, we should definitely put our torches out.
and then like give our eyes a minute to sort of adjust before we
Before we go
pop the
out.
door open. Yeah.
Okay.
I locked the door at the last room.
Okay. Oh, you're saying that? Sorry.
I'm saying that to the guys. I'm like,
That's good. Good
We don't-
thinking.
do we need to lock this one? We're not going back, right?
We're not going back.
Because why would this be open? The same reason somebody
Same
opened
reason.
it. You assume it's open because someone's going to come down through here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Do we thwart that plan as well, or attempt to?
What would we do?
To try to lock it. It's hard to lock from the outside, but I could give Kev one of these points. Skullduggery, Kev?
You want to do that?
Is that what it is? Skullduggery?
It would be so you're editing the scene. So I'll take my misfortune, and then give us a skullduggery at. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to sabotage the lock as well?
Ooh, that's a good idea. I can
Okay.
just break something in there, right?
Yep. So give us a skullduggery at. Actually, make a skullduggery at average, and then we'll take your degrees as of success. Because remember, it's
Okay.
your agility bonus plus. I think skullduggery uses agility, doesn't it?
So just at standard?
Standard, please. Yeah, not average. Nice. All right, so that is 4 plus. What's your agility bonus? Your AB.
7.
That's an 11 then, so you've done a really good job. The way that you'll notice that on your characters, you've got the tens digit of your stat is what the starting point is for your bonus, and then some of you have advancements that have added to them, or you've had traits that have modified them. So some of you will have higher bonuses than what the tens digit is. When you make a contested roll or an opposed roll, you take the degrees of success, and then you also add the bonus to it. So one of the neat ways this game translates the rules for competency in certain areas is that not only if you've got a good skill, you're going to probably roll better than what the an opponent might do. The bonus also weighs that in your favor as well. So it allows competency to kind of shine out. Mm-hmm. So that is sabotaged. What do you wish to do next?
There's a confident smirk on Emrys's face as he turns around. He's like, no one's getting through here. They're going to have to tear that door down. Let's go.
Okay, probably that, yeah. So then we do as we said. We extinguish our torches and give it a moment for our eyes to adjust.
Okay.
And then I will attempt to quietly open a old trap door that never opens.
Let's see here.
Did you bring some WD-40?
All right, say again? WD-40, yeah. I mean, there is alchemy in the game. So
totally.
Okay, so what I'm checking on is, let's see here, group roles. I'm trying to remember if there are rules for that.
Yeah, WDO4.
Yeah, it's 36 generations earlier, right? So it's...
the product was not quite as effective back then.
No. It didn't come in a spray can either. You had to take it out of a little...
Dab it on
with a valve. Just put your hand in a tub and then rub it in.
Okay. So first, why don't we do this? An assisted dice, you get to roll an extra dice and have it replace the tens digit, but that is not what we're quite doing here. We're doing group check, not a individual check. So let me take a look here under conflicts and rekindling. I wonder if there's something there. For group checks. Don't see it. So let's take a look in here. I do not see anything. I'm gonna check one more source. I brought my Zweihander book out as well. And here we go. I think it's half succeed for some of these group things. So it's here 376. The chase rules in Zweihander as well. Again, for those listening at home, apologies for having to look some of the stuff up. It's been 2 years since we last ran Blackbirds, so not all this is fresh in my mind as it might have been.
Christmas of 22?
Christmas 22, yeah. A year and a half, I guess.
Still.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only played, 25, 30 other games since then?
We played 34 different games in the first 6 months of this year. So, been one or two.
There's been a few.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do them individually because that's what you got fortune points, right? So, Kenyon, why don't you first give us a stealth check, please, at... let's set this at routine. No, let's set it at easy because there's two factors that are kind of going in your favor here.
Okay, and stealth is...
under agility, I believe.
Nobody's supposed to be coming out this door.
I was just trying to see if it was flip to fail. So it is easy. Here we go. Oh!
Okay.
Boom! Thank you, Roll20.
Would you like to fortune point that?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, try again. Come on, Roll20. Yeah.
So, Kenyon, you pull your or push the lid back, and let me bring you over to where we are right now. Yeah, this will be good. So there is a clearing here, relatively flat. The moons are full and beginning to rise. I'm trying to think here. Did you guys know it was daytime when you came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like afternoon.
Yeah. So
right. It wasn't nighttime.
No.
That's right. We didn't want to wait till night.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of blinking after spending so much time in the tunnels. As you step out, would you give us an is it awareness?
Perception awareness? Awareness.
Awareness?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because perception's your stat. This one will be easy. Oh, you already won. Or you succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did okay. Yeah.
So you're looking around, and as you sneak out, what you can see is this thing has a bunch of sod that has grown down on it. So it's like it would be very, very hard to see this thing if you weren't specifically looking for it.
Right.
You know, but what you can hear is about maybe about 15 paces away. There seems to be some folks talking to one another.
Nearby? Okay.
Yeah. The distance in this game, incidentally, is measured in stride. A stride is about a yard or a meter. So any distances on your character sheets or on your in the rulebook, when it refers to strides, that's what it means. It's just that's how far you can move in a given round.
I would try to signal back to, like, in the bit of light now that's coming through, that, like, here's some people.
Who's the next one coming out?
Probably Naldo.
Well, I would think Dave because he's so sneaky.
Well, I can bring up the rear and, you know, keep locking all the doors behind us.
Okay, yeah, I'll go up next then.
Okay. Naldo, would you give us a stealth check at easy, please?
Which is what I need. Hey.
Nice. So you, what does it look like as you come out of the tunnel and find yourself in a bright light and surrounded by these trees?
And you said they were about 15 to 20 strides away, Kevin?
Yes. And they seem to be sort of concealed. This place is kind of around a bend. So someone may have sent this is actually, if you look back from where you are, you can see the walls of Carrick behind you. And there is two things. There seems to be the remnants of a blue powder that hangs in the air. But there is also a black tendril of smoke that is coming up, and you, Naldo, know precisely what that is. Would you give us a what's the skill I'm looking for here? Give us a resolve check, please, at standard.
Okay. There it is. Standard. Okay, here goes nothing. Yep, exactly.
Do you wish to fortune point that?
I have a feeling I probably ought to.
Okay.
I don't want to turn it into a quivering mass already. So yeah, let's try that again. That was at standard, so... Alrighty then.
Okay.
For Jeff tonight, we'll be
then, Naldo. I'm going to roll 2d10 plus 2. Oops, how about I learn how to roll dice in this game? I think it's my first time playing, my goodness. Naldo, how does an 11 compare to your peril threshold?
Oh, okay, give me a second.
To go to your combat tab?
So that's 3 higher than my peril threshold.
Okay, so does it reach? I'm trying to remember. I think 4 is the wrong character. Hold up. So Naldo. Your peril threshold is an 8, but it does not reach the 14. I rolled an 11, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, you rolled an 11.
Yeah, so each of the thresholds is 6 above. So if you could move yourself 1 down on the peril threshold, there is a...
Okay, so from unhindered to imperiled?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
What do we see on your face as you look back and that terror strikes you?
Yeah, I was going to say, terror, but it's a lot of it is like shock. Like the color kind of drains from his face. That's really what you see.
Okay.
Is just kind of almost an awe-like expression. And then, like I said, the color drains out.
So, Kenyon, you sort of snuck maybe a step or 2 away from the hole, to keep an eye on if anyone who's making those sounds is going to come over. It sounds like there's maybe about 5 people over there from the way that they're talking back and forth. And the clinking of, you recognize the sound of a bunch of soldiers sitting around a campfire.
Right.
While this is obvious and you can see it from the tower, so likely a place that they might want to keep watch on if there was a concern over it, where these guards have set themselves up is around a tree not nearby to sort of keep themselves concealed so they're not obviously spotted.
Right.
And you step, maybe you're monitoring that, you spare a look back, and Naldo has that just like ashen white pallor to him as he's staring at the city.
Back at the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of these, you want to tap someone on the shoulder, but it's like, is it going to make them jump or scream? So it's like a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So I think instead of tap him on, I think I will grab him, put my hand on his shoulder, but try not to startle him.
Why don't you give us a leadership check at routine? Because you know Naldo quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Routine. Try not to startle him.
Pretty good.
What happens when Kenyon puts his gloved hand on you?
I think Naldo's head snaps around to him, and he can see. It's almost like it's almost that animal look in the eyes when you see the whites. That classic see the whites in their eyes. His eyes are a little bulged. His jawline is tense, but he remembers we're sneaking, and so he just looks at him and doesn't really say anything.
Right, and I sort of indicate, the direction that the men are, so that we can sort of try to avoid their gaze.
And as the sound of your own heart beating, throbbing in your ears, Naldo, lowers, you're able to hear it as well. Guys bullshitting around a camp, it sounds like.
So Naldo slowly nods at Kenyon.
Okay.
And he starts to get a little bit more control over his facial features.
Does Naldo have his rapier out?
Probably not yet.
Okay.
Because basically we were coming up, so...
Okay. I wanted to have Tagwin up here just to give you guys an opportunity to introduce Naldo to her, but we're not going to worry about tracking her actions in this scene. Emrys, you're next. What are you doing?
I guess I'm going to sneak out.
Okay. Just give us a stealth check at easy, please. No problem. You're out?
Yeah. I wasn't too worried.
And it's amazing. As soon as it speaks to the craftsmanship of the engineers who built this, as soon as that lid is back down again, you would be hard pressed to find it unless you were trial and error around trying to grab it.
Right.
And it's a thick enough layer that you wouldn't hear the dunk of wood when you walk across it too.
That's good. So I come out and I see these two sharing a moment, or
I think probably when you get out, you can see we're already turning back, and I'm probably, now that I am out and not holding a torch, I would go to pull my sword out.
Okay.
And be walking with both my shield and sword out now.
Okay.
And there's no Hollywood shame, so we're good.
I can't promise that the Fate Weaver won't make that sound, but for the purpose of yourself, yes, it will not be. It will not be ruining your opportunity. So,
No
Kenyon,
saber weapon.
your longsword's out. Naldo and Emrys, do you draw either of your weapons?
I was going to say, watching Kenyon, Naldo knows what that means.
Okay.
Do I have to make a perception check, or can you hear the...
You can hear them quite clearly, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm trying to indicate where they are. Like I'm still thinking like let's go around them, or like try to avoid them.
I think Emrys pulls out his shiv, and he's like,
If they sound the alarm, or maybe I'll whisper. If they sound the alarm, there could be hundreds nearby.
I think Emrys just gives a reluctant nod and crouches down, points towards the tree line.
I'll nod.
Okay.
Okay. So then, why don't you all give us one more stealth check at easy once again to affect your escape.
Go. Can we escape?
I could take a 60 or a 70 here, roll 20, and help the team out.
Nice.
That's actually why I quickly hit the stealth roll, because I'm like, oh, there was a 17 and a 15. It's got to roll higher now. See?
Would you like to
giving me the 80?
fortune point that?
I would like to try again.
Okay.
Fuck.
We are. Come on. Come on. Yes.
Oh,
There, no
look at
problem.
that. Jeff avoids initiative.
So, with that, you guys are easily able to escape the attackers. I'm just flipping to the travel rules. Both Flames of Freedom and Zweihander have overland travel rules that are pretty fun. So I can use those for it, even though we don't have this. So, first thing we'll do, let's see here. This is going to be challenging terrain. Of course, not fast travel we're doing. It is... Yeah. So how long do you think you travel into the woods before you take a break, or before you risk talking to one another? And I suppose for Naldo as well, your arm is probably going to get sore at some point from carrying that rapier in a ready position for so long.
And that's what I was going to say. He's probably, once we start moving off, he's probably going to sheath it, honestly.
Okay.
Like, if there's no impending battle, there's no need to be carrying a weapon.
Yeah. I think so. Like, once we're away from the the voices, we could at least sheath our weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, 50 strides maybe?
Okay.
Probably safe enough to sheath the weapons.
And you kind of have to, because then it's going to start getting into, it's not, you're bushwhacking, but it's not like overgrown forest yet. It will be very, very soon. But for the first little bit, at least, you're not having, having to scramble or anything like that. Although from the name of the hills, you expect it's going to be some unsteady footing as you get further into here.
Yeah, that was another reason to put the weapon up.
Mm-hmm.
So are we heading in a west? What direction are we heading, guys?
Westerly direction towards
We're
Black
going to
Tower.
head in west. Okay. Do we know the lay of the land, where there's a road nearby?
You guys have intentionally avoided them because of the armies. You are,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we're under siege, so
We're going to have to do something with the navigation, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
Orienting. Yeah, there you go. Orientation.
So the three roles that will be you'll be handling going through here is the Trailblazer, the Quartermaster, and the Scout. The Trailblazer makes use of either folklore or navigation. They're the guide on the journey. The Quartermaster uses heal or survival. They are vigilant and watchful. They manage foodstuffs, track wildlife if the party needs to make camp, build a fire, and attend to other duties that increase the party's comfort. And then the Scout uses awareness or stealth. They often trek ahead of the party looking for immediate signs of danger. They set the watch cycle, determine the safety perimeter, and ensure other hazards are avoided.
You said watch cycle, and I heard wash cycle. Like the laundry. That's what I heard. I was like, oh.
Will's doing laundry tonight?
What's that line from, is it Platoon, where they're talking about the well-being of your feet? Or is it Hamburger Hill? It's one of those two. It's one of those Vietnam era things where they're talking about, like...
I remember Forrest Gump, I'm pretty sure, had a thing about socks as well.
It could be. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. The fact that I'm blending Forrest Gump, Platoon, and Hamburger Hill all into one. Oh, man.
Is there a page this is on, Kev? Or like,
this is actually in Flames of Freedom.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't write it down fast
yeah.
enough.
Sorry, let me put it in chat.
Okay, good. Because I would just... Yeah, so we can decide kind of what people would do. I don't have any of the skills, so...
So it might be just a matter of... I think most of those are not special skills. But I'll take a look here.
The navigation... Oh, you said navigation and something. Folklore.
So Trailblazer uses folklore or navigation.
Flip to fail.
Which are both intelligence, but both flip to fail.
Well,
folklore is not actually. So it's marked on this sheet, it is, but in Blackbirds, folklore is not.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've got the scholar trait, which means all of my intelligence skills tests are flipped to succeed.
So things he's not trained in, he just rolls normal.
Right. So I would probably... That would probably be the role for me, honestly.
How's your heal or survival there, Kenyon? I thought Scout was stealth or survival.
Oh, I fucked up one of those. That's Scout is stealth, and someone said survival, and I just entered it automatically, like some kind of deranged stenographer.
What is heal under? Oh, there. Intelligence also flip to fail.
Survival?
I'm okay at survival. I mean, I'm not great.
I'm better at stealth.
We need what's her name here to do that.
Yeah.
To do the and then I'm just bossing.
So let me tell you,
around.
maybe this will help. I'll tell you what these what each of the skills the checks do, each of the different roles. The Trailblazer will dictate how easy the following tests are. So the better you roll for the Trailblazer, the easier job that the endurance check that everybody will have to make over the course of the trip, and the easier that some of the other ones like the Quartermaster and the Scout will have to make. So you make it easier for those who follow. For Quartermaster, or harder if you fail, Quartermaster... if you succeed, you eat a day's worth of provisions for each day of the trip. If failed, you eat 2. Critical success, you can ignore 1 endure check on the stretch. Critical fail, you suffer 1 additional endure check. Failing endure checks impose peril, and the way peril works, Will, is it doesn't, like, there isn't a death spiral in this the way there is in some other games, but what it does do is it means that you cannot apply skill levels. So once you get to a certain level in it, you can't apply your skill levels, but there's no further penalty when you get further down in the peril.
It doesn't start adding negative past that. Is what
exactly.
Yeah,
so there's kind of a nice threshold for, like, all right, there's you can feel it happening, and if you get to the very bottom, you pass out. But it's not, And then what the Scout does is when I roll for random encounters, so you guys remember the joy of rolling the chaos dice?
Yeah.
chaos dice are basically exploding d6, or d6s that you roll, and a 6 something bad happens. I have a set number of, depending on how dangerous the location is, I roll a certain number of chaos dice for your encounters, and the result of the scout's roll will either add or subtract chaos dice.
How dangerous could a forest near an invading army be? Like, really?
Yeah, like what's out there?
Random troops, scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the number of endure checks that you have to make depends on how long the journey is. On a short one, you're making 1. On a medium one, you're making 2. On a long one, you're making 3. This is for the... I'm breaking this up into 2 stretches. It'll be a short journey for the first one. So even if you absolutely turf the Trailblazer roll, it's only going to impact the first endure check. Oh, no, it doesn't. Because it affects the terrain overall. So that's what the consequence of each of those rolls are. Have you guys decided on one that you are suited for, or that you are not suited for?
I can actually do either of the second two.
Wait.
So, like, I'm good with survival or stealth. So if you've got a strong awareness, you can take the scout, or if you want to go with heal or survival, like, it's up to you. So you pick what's best for you too, and then I get
awareness and survival are the same, and stealth I'm worse at. So
okay, so I think they're deciding. Naldo, you're going to be the Trailblazer.
Yeah, I'll be the Trailblazer.
Okay, so then the Quartermaster, heal, I think, is flip to fail. Survival is a common skill, is not. So at least there's that.
Yeah, Jeff, is that one you want to tackle, Jeff, or do you want? Or would you rather do awareness?
Like the Quartermaster? Yeah, I can do the Quartermaster one.
Okay.
And I think, Emrys, you've also, depending on what you've got slotted, one of your techniques grants, I think, like a +10 to stealth as the passive ability. So just be, that won't be tracking automatically. Just make sure you include that as a bonus.
Oh, they don't track automatically. Okay.
Yeah. If you've got something that adds to a bonus or something, then you will need to add that in yourself. Because it's also situational for those ones. If it's not slotted or if it's extinguished, you don't get that passive modifier. So, I think we have everyone's role here. So, Trailblazer. So currently the terrain is challenging, -10. Overgrown forests, foothills, fast-flowing rivers, all the good stuff. All right, so then, would you kindly give us Naldo? Now, are you trained in folklore?
I'm not trained in them, no.
So you still would be flip to success on this because it's not a special skill?
Right.
So go ahead and give us a folklore check at -10 at challenging, please.
Oh, there's challenging. Come on.
Nice! Hey. Beautiful! All right, so a success. The terrain eases by 1 step positively for this stretch. So because of the route that you've picked, it is the least forgiving, which means Kenyon and Emrys are only going to have a standard roll instead of challenging.
Good.
That's
what do you
awesome.
think this looks like? What is it that you're doing?
I think a lot of it is just it's part of his it's just his education, just his knowledge. You know, he knows a lot about cartography. He knows a lot about, orienteering.
Yeah.
So he's able to read the topography as he stands there, and he knows kind of what to predict next. And so being able to kind of predict next, then he's able to say, hey, let's go left, 100 strides, and then let's cut back, maybe 90 degrees or, things of that nature. So that's really what he's doing. He's kind of studying the land and how it rises and falls. He's using that to find the best path. Awesome.
Now, I forgot something. Emrys is currently down by 1 on your condition monitor, right? Yeah, okay, so...
Yep.
Now, one thing you could do you have something called Salmiak on your character sheet? It'll be under... I think it's called trappings on the character sheet.
Trappings.
Yeah. There are two potions. One is called Salmiak and one is called Theriac. Salmiak, by consuming it, you can improve your condition level by 1 automatically. Ooh. And I think I'm just going to double check and see what the other way to recover is. There we go. Peril condition. And those are the injuries and recovering from peril. Oh, right, you need to rest in order to do it. Or you can use Salmiak. Do you have it on your character sheet, Emrys?
I don't see... I'll have to look. I don't see it on the actual character sheet.
Okay. I don't think you do. I think there's only the craft and expertise start with 3 of each of Salmiak and Theriac. I can't remember, Naldo, do you have any Salmiak on you?
No, I have Theriac.
Okay. No one's been stabbed yet, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
I was stabbed in the brain.
All right. Then, with this... So, unfortunately, Emrys, you're probably just feeling this a little worse than what everyone else is. Would everyone give us a standard toughness check, please? You can use survival or toughness for this endure check. Whatever you're better at.
Toughness?
I would want to go with this one. And that's standard, right?
Standard difficulty, please.
All right, past mine.
Oh, quelle surprise.
Okay. Now, would anyone care to spend fortune to re-roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're getting real low. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it though, because well,
Heck yeah.
give Kevin
Love it.
I mean, it's probably not worth it.
Okay. So then, let's see here. Let's roll. This is for Emrys. We saw your result first. So let's see here. There we go.
Combat tab.
Damn.
What's 22 versus your peril threshold?
What?
Well, that's beyond my 3rd. Like, I've got...
Whoa.
That is bad.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. Now this is why you have fate points. So it's beyond the 3rd. 22 is only 1, 2. Let's Naldo. Hold up. Emrys.
7, 13, 19, 25.
Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3. That'll be 3 more down on the peril track, which I think would put you at 5, wouldn't it?
It would be ignore 3 skill ranks.
Okay.
Or whatever the 4th is.
Yeah, because you're at imperiled 1, 2. Oh, yeah, so you're not incapacitated yet, but you are...
Tell me about this fate point you're talking about.
So you could spend a fate point and ignore that altogether. You caught your wind or whatnot, but it would mean that you would not have that fate point available to avoid death, to whatever. Start of next session, we'd flip a coin. If it comes up heads, you get your fate point back for that session. If it comes up tails, you have no fate for that session. The next session, we flip twice to see if you get it back. If you don't get it back, then the following session, we flip 3 dice, and we keep flipping, or 3 coins, and we keep flipping 3 until you get your fate back.
So, if I accept the peril,
Yeah.
and my rank drops, so then it's going to ignore 3 skill ranks.
Which is you don't have 3 skill ranks in anything. You guys are only tier 1.
Say, like, that's not going to...
It's not going to impact you beyond, like, you're already, you would be ignoring whatever skill training you have. The only other peril is the fact that you're 1 away from being incapacitated. Fortunately
Right.
for this leg of the trip, though, you're going to be okay. If you guys can find a safe place to sleep, you'll be able to recover all of your peril. If you find a shitty place to sleep, you'll recover 1 point of peril.
Is just real quick, what exactly is incapacitated?
Unconscious.
Just okay.
Yeah.
I just
It's
didn't
like
know
we
what
have to stop moving because like this is where Emrys made it to, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you
Well,
do
that-
not have another endure to roll today.
Yeah, so we could try and get a good night's sleep, and I'll feel better in the morning, and I don't have to use my fate point.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If we don't get attacked while I'm trying to sleep and kill me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna roll the dice.
Well, I'll tell you, there is
Nice.
another neat feature that we'll talk about. Well, let's talk about it now, because I think it's one of my favorite things about another one of my favorite things. I really love this game. So there's a lot of things I like about it, but one of the ones is the even when you're sleeping in a shitty condition, there is an opportunity to try and get things back if you guys try and raise one another's spirits. So,
I have a non-combat action that I might be able to do.
oh yeah, what's
But I
that?
don't know. So it's under my toss a coin. It's called Interlude of Verse. It says when the Blackbird initiates a revelry, all those who participate rise an extra level on the peril condition track.
Yeah, what revelry is what I was
revelry?
looking for. Is if when
Oh,
you're
I'm sorry.
yeah, when you're no, don't sorry, be apologizing at all. It's great that you've identified that as a useful thing. What rekindling is even if you're sleeping in a shitty condition, what you can try and do is revelry, or I think it's called revelry or reflection. Is it here? Trying to find the rules for rekindling here. That's all the poisons.
I have that on my sheet.
You have which? Poison? Yeah, revelry and reflection. So if you do revelry, the difference between the two is revelry uses charm and reflection uses education. On a success for either, so success, you revelers raise 1 on the peril condition, including the one who entertains. That's in addition to the 1 you'll get back from sleeping. A critical success moves up 2, a sublime 3.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really, really good. And I think I was wrong here. Sleeping in an unsafe place, you recover only 1 level. Sleeping in a safe place.
Well, safe is a relative term. We were in a city that was besieged.
Yeah.
This is far safer than a city that was going to be ashes by the end of the night. Like,
Yeah. So this
That
will
is
be an unsafe
so
place. This is the
true.
neat thing. Another one of the neat things is like you can you can get those peril levels back by just, Naldo shared a story or playing a tune or whatever you want. Canyon,
I'm gonna go with it.
you gonna go take the hit?
Yeah, I'm taking the
Love it. Love it. Then
It's time for my roll. Yeah. you
Canyon,
gotta-
let's see what you got here. A 14.
That is 2 levels for me.
Okay. So if you could lower your peril threshold by 2. All right. Then the quartermaster, I believe, is Kenyon. Are you choosing heal or survival?
I am gonna roll survival.
Okay. Then you have a standard difficulty thanks to Naldo's route.
Here we go.
Would you like to fortune point that? Now, let me tell you what the effect is. If you fail, you've just consumed all of your rations. Do you guys have any rations on your sheet?
See, that's what I was going to say. I don't even think I have any rations.
No, because you guys fled the city.
I have 2 days worth of rations.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, Emrys, you would be basically, it would be double the days of rations on a fail.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we fail, right? It's not worth. We're almost out of points, and something really bad could happen in the next 25 minutes.
Okay.
I say
Yeah, we'd have to
keep our
do another
last
die
two.
roll.
Okay, so you are, if you could remove that food, Emrys, you guys
Yeah.
have consumed all the food.
We have no food. We need to find food.
Unfortunately, you do not have an endure check. And then the scout, Emrys, would you kindly give us a awareness or stealth check? And this is against standard as well. And remember, you get the plus 10 because of your technique, I believe.
No, I don't have that.
Oh, you don't have it slotted? Okay.
I don't have Prowler slotted, so.
All right. So you're watching effectively for the stretch, reducing the threat level by 1 chaos dice. So then, let me see here.
It's exhausting work, but, you know, get it done.
Now, so you're the watch there, Emrys. Would you roll 1 chaos dice for us, please? See if anything comes up on the...
This is the don't roll a 6 thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Order prevails. All right. So it is closer to... it is, well, I mean, definitely nightfall. And as you guys you have been traveling now for the bulk of the day. I'm telling them. Yeah. Oh, there may be dogs in these hills, guys. I don't want to alarm you.
That is alarming.
I guess first off, what's everyone's state like? Like, Naldo, now that you've been out in the woods and following such a successful path for all these hours, like how is distance helping you with? I
think maybe partly, and this is weird because he's not, you know, Mr. Nature Boy, but I think getting out of where he was, that confined concept in his mind of the urban, and getting out here and being successful in leading us down a good path.
Yeah.
I think he's relaxed a lot more. He's not as tense. He's not as troubled.
Okay.
So he's feeling, in general, better.
Okay. What about Kenyon and Emrys?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if it's luck or fate or something has brought us here. So I'm actually feeling really good. I'm actually kind of feeling positive. Like, hey, we're alive. Like that, you know, the forest. This feels great. This is like a wonderful place right now. You know.
Okay.
It's not a fiery ashen deathbed. And
you're only really able to. Like, if you finish the day without, completing any, without having any food, I think that you are going to, you are likely going to start having to make checks against further peril for hunger. You've got some. For, actually. You had the 2 rations, but you would have to split that amongst. You had to eat double today, each. And you had to split those amongst 3 people. So you're getting a third of the food that you would have needed for today.
Right.
Yeah. But what is Emrys's reaction? The sun is definitely going down. It is dark. You guys would have to start thinking about setting camp somewhere. And Emrys, it's the smell. It's the smell of a cooking fire that hits you. You are the scout up ahead.
Guess I'll tell everybody to hold. Go back and I smell a cooking fire up ahead. I think I should scout it out.
Oh.
Or do we want to veer around it?
Carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So would you give us a stealth check at easy once again? And it says good luck.
Thanks, Anna.
Always on your side. Nice roll. Jeepers. 6 plus your agility bonus of 7. That's a 13.
But I'm also ignoring my levels of skill or whatever.
I think that already factors in, doesn't it? Yeah, because it's got minus 10 in there already.
Minus 10 instead of plus 10. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, not instead of, but it negates it. It's doing it in a, I mean, I don't know if it's cumbersome or not, but it what it's doing is giving you the stealth bonus, and it's also negating the skill bonus, but you're not getting minus 30. So, let me roll for the folks. Okay. So tell us what's going through your mind as you're scrambling up towards, not only, and I'll tell you, you start hearing voices as you're going up towards there too, who are talking to one another, and you recognize a sound of a rough camp in the middle of nowhere, people sharing crude jokes. Where's your mind going before you see what's there, Amorous?
First thing he's thinking about is like, this is, like a company that's joining the siege that's just laid or something, and this is enemies, and he's, shit, am I wearing like anything that would indicate that I'm from Carrick? I'm like, oh, Fred, I hope not. And he's like, and he's like, it doesn't, not everybody's an enemy of Carrick. And so he's like trying to,
if they're trying to come through here, like this is, you know how exhausted you are and how difficult this terrain is to get through. If this is anyone who's trying to, if it is an army or any soldiers, they're coming the
really hard way.
Oh, most difficult way. Like either it's a genius, flanking attack from allies of Duke Price or Duke Roderick, or who else runs to the hills on the eve of battle?
Deserters.
Fuck yeah, deserters.
Oh, Kenya won't like that.
And as you get up there and you're spying down into the little grove where they are, there is about 8 men there. They are all clearly mercenaries as well. And they seem to have a great deal of supplies. Somebody decided they wanted to book out. You've known folks like this from your service with the Hallowed Hounds. On the eve of battle, one of the things you need to watch for is for people going in, trying to grab supplies and shit like that and book out before they have to do the job that they were paid for. These have the look of deserters, but there's something else that catches your eye. And that is the bound young man who is stripped to the waist. And the reason he's catching your attention is because of the almost brand style tattoos that are across his body. And you can give us a routine, an easy folklore check, please. There's a baseline you're going to know from this, but I want to see how much you know beyond the baseline. Would you like to fortune point that?
Sounds important. I'm going to do it.
Okay. I'll adjust in just a sec here.
This is why we're all eating double, right? So we can learn things like this.
Yeah.
Right, Jeff? That's why
Again, like there is a base level you're going to know already from it, but...
Nice.
Oh, you rolled already. Nice. So the person on the ground who is bound is... The tattoos on the body marks them as... What the fuck's going on here? Come on, there we go. There we go. Marks them as a member of the Sigillite Order. Sigillite Order is basically like fanatical Templars and viciously anti-witch. They are... this is what... Let me see here. I think I've got an illustration of what one looks like in their armor. Let me see here. Did I load one? I did not. But I know there's one in here.
So with my background of knowing old magic, being taught by a witch,
Sigillites would burn Yeah, they're the types to come in. They don't make a distinction between theurges and practitioners of Warcraft. They fucking murder everybody. That is what a member of the Sigilite Order looks like. But the branding on their skin is an actual marking of their god. And it grants them certain supernatural abilities, it's said. And you recognize that the one that is on here is the sigil of Saint Edinger, the Martyr. That is the markings on this guy. The stigmata of the sigil would mark him as definitely a senior member of it. It is unlikely that a Sigilite would ever desert, but it seems like they may have plans for this fella. In addition to the stigmata on his body, there is also horrible bruisings all across it. It clearly is. They've kicked the shit out of this guy at some point. But there was also a full encampment when these deserters came or got themselves free. They seemed to bring everything that they could carry and get away with. Food. It seems that some of them have been hunting. Bedrolls.
I'll go back to the group. I'll be like, there's a group ahead. You're not going to like this, Kenyon, but deserters, looks like. And they have stocked themselves. They hit the quartermaster hard before they left because they've got all kinds of food and rations and supplies, bedrolls, you name it.
How many of them is there?
I thought I counted 8. And they have a prisoner. Sigilite Order of St. Edgar the Martyr.
And that might surprise you, Kenyon, because you may recall you were a washed-up squire to the Order to the Sigilites.
So it's a chance to redeem some of my failures, maybe.
Potentially, but as Embers would say, they're absolute fanatics. They have no bending for...
He learns that I've got any kind of magical gift, and he'll want to kill me.
Right. He's not a friend.
No. But we could end his suffering.
So, Amorous has not... they have not detected you guys...
where I stand.
Yes.
I'm doing this for the food. I'm not doing this for the sigillation.
Right.
Naldo, any thoughts?
Yeah. How do you feel, Naldo?
I think you better let me do the talking.
There is no talking. We're gonna try and talk our way through this?
There's 8 of them and 3 of us. You do the math.
Okay, I kill 2. You kill 2. Can
You're gonna have to kill more than 2.
Yeah,
damn
I
it.
killed 2, the other 2 run away.
Oh, you're into the running away bit. Well, okay.
Well, don't we... I mean, we know them to be cowards.
They've avoided battle, so they know they don't really want to fight. They'd rather take money and live a happy life elsewhere. We kill a few, they'll all run away.
Bullies and cowards.
All right, fair enough.
One of the other neat things about the game too, Will, is that every time you make use of any of your gear or your armor, it actually goes down 1 level on the condition, so it becomes worn. If you roll a critical fail, your weapon becomes damaged as well. So your weapon starts going down a bit.
Very well.
During a rekindling, though, this is where I think it's Andrew's character can improve the condition of an unlimited number of weapons, so you can she can improve stuff once again. If someone hits you with a critical success, they damage your armor in addition to whatever damage it is.
Okay.
Okay, so what?
We don't have to fight. I was just voicing my opinion.
No, and to give the other option would be to try and set up camp. Now, it will not be a good condition, so you would, or a safe place, so you wouldn't be recovering more than one peril while sleeping, but you could do revelry. And then try and increase it by further. Their camp is not going to be a safe place, but it at least will have some other supplies in it.
Yeah.
But if we revelry too hard and too loud and they can hear us... Hey, we're getting drunk. Come kill us.
Well, you have no booze to get drunk, so really revelry just speaks to only Naldo's way with words.
Yeah, storytelling and whatnot.
The other thing you can do is while you are camping, someone can hunt and forage. It's a survival check, and that might give you some extra days worth of food.
I could try to get us some food.
Listen.
But I don't have a bow or anything.
The fates brought us here. They have given us food.
We just need to take it away from a bunch of cowards.
All right.
Swords out.
I mean, it doesn't sit well with me what's going on here. So, I mean,
if you want to go in and talk to them, Naldo, that's fine. That's a great distraction. While you're talking to them, I'll slit a couple throats.
Well, okay. There's that too. I mean,
we could confront them. I mean, that's I don't, as deserters, I don't think they're going to listen to anything that we have to say, but.
Tell me.
Oh, go ahead, Naldo.
Go ahead, Kevin. No, go ahead.
Well, I was to say, they are deserters, and there is one thing you did not ask, is what army they came from.
Yeah, which army? Whose side are they on?
Oh, yeah. Emrys, could you tell? Were there any sigils or any?
Because there's another explanation for why those doors were unlocked. The gates.
Right, they're deserters from our army.
There are deserters from our army, and they took supplies and left.
Right. Right, they just left the door open when they left.
Because they're not as skilled as me. I mean, yeah.
Or they don't give a shit, right?
Yeah,
they don't care if somebody comes in.
Fled, yeah.
Look, you don't have to convince me to kill them. I'm just giving you alternatives.
I'm not asking you to kill anybody. You want to try to talk to that? I'll do as much damage as I can in a few quick seconds.
I mean, my thought is there's a good chance that we won't have to even kill many of them before the rest will surrender. Yeah.
Tell you what, if they welcome you to the fire, you and your companions, for a happy evening of revelry and sharing their supplies, great. If they say anything threatening, I'm going to start cutting people.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, honestly, we really don't want any of them to flee, because then we're not going to be able to rest, because we're going to be worried about them coming back. So we kind of need to wipe them all out, if that's the route you're going to go.
Now you're talking.
I'm just saying. And remember, we have 1 fortune, and he has 7.
Speaking of 7, we have 7 minutes left in the session. Does anyone want to spend that last fortune to reslot any techniques before
we attack these guys? Yeah, that's true.
Let me look at what this other one does.
Oh, yeah, wait, let me check what I have slotted.
I'm ready. I have knife.
Oh no, I have an amazing one slotted.
Knife and bag work, Kev, and hidden blade.
Nice.
I mean, honestly, mine is ridiculous. My what's it called when you put it out again? Extinguish.
Extinguish, yeah.
Oh yeah. The Agitate Swordmaster is very dangerous when they extinguish.
Yeah. Naldo, do you have a preference between? I think the Poisoned Words is the more aggressive of the two, but I think they both have some, or at least the more combat worthy.
Yeah, I was just thinking I've got that most welcome reflection, which pretty much means
Could you click on it,
you
maybe?
know, I get a bonus to my dial, and if
Click
if
on
it's successful,
the little speech bubble. That'll display it in chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad, Kevin.
No problem.
That.
Yeah. So they think you're another deserter.
Right. They'll think I'm the same thing, and hopefully my group is the same thing. Or I could just go in there as myself, and you, like you said, Dave, you can sneakity snacked.
Well, I'll be in the shadows.
You may know them.
If it sounds threatening, if I think it's going poorly, you'll know. Or maybe you won't.
Yeah. And I'm trained in guile, so I mean that's a pretty good chance of success of me bluffing these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my original plan.
Well, let's go with that. And the backup plan is?
The backup plan is you're going to sneak up once, hopefully. I mean, if they don't buy it, then yeah, it's just swords free.
Yeah.
And
I think that's fair.
Naldo, do you want to lead the technique that is slotted currently, or do you want to spend?
I looked at the other one. The other one doesn't seem to really.
Go ahead and click on it. That's the poisoned words,
the
isn't it?
venom-coated pleasantries.
No, the two will be toss a coin and poisoned words, I think, is the two techniques you have.
Yeah, it's called venom-coated pleasantries, but I don't see any benefit to it.
Click on the thing here. Okay, so take a look at that extinguish action.
Mm-hmm. Until the end of their next turn, if in a combat scene.
For a black promise, all enemies who can hear the Blackbird at -10 to skill test made for them until the end of the next turn. If in a combat scene outside of combat, it only affects their next roll. -10 to all your enemies' actions for one round. And Cloak of Threat should be threat. Sorry, the cut and pasting. It takes a TH and makes it an exclamation mark. Speak a few sentences so you can make a intimidate test using charm, and the way that intimidate works is I think it inflicts peril on them. Let's see here. Intimidate.
This is what I've got set up.
Knife and bag work. Nice.
Because, can't roll.
Oh, hold on. It's I think it's in the combat section or conflict section. It's called like War of Words in Zweihander, and it is. Let's see here. Open actions. Cast magic, melee. That's movement. Reactions, no. Oh, special actions, hold up. Movement, special, here we go. Focus, load, take aim, use item. Wait, oh, it's not? I don't remember. So there is an action in Zweihander that is also in Flames of Freedom called War of Words. That is... Hold on. It's a cool action to use when you're not a frontline combatant character. Mm-hmm. And where is it here? Words as weapons is what it's called. When engaged or at a distance, declare that you want to use hastened, inspired, or intimidated on combatants, and then you make a skill test. After rolling, select a number of combatants equal to your fellowship bonus to gain one of the following combat conditions. Hastened gives +1 to initiative, +1 to movement. Inspired, +1 to damage threshold or +1 to peril threshold. Intimidated, -1 to damage threshold and peril threshold. So if you're using it for intimidation, you could use words as weapons to make a charm check at +10 using Cloak of Threats. And on a success, you would you could impose -1 to damage threshold and peril threshold for your enemies. That means everybody would have a chance of injuring them more easily. The other... Where's it here? I thought there was a threaten one as well. Oh. Is it under... I can't remember which of the special actions that were duplicated, but there's an eye gouge. I think there's an eye gouge in Flames of Freedom. I'm trying to make sure you have some useful, or at least are aware of the things you can do using Intimidate. Okay, so it's a special action. Wait. Okay, not take aim, not focus. All right, so I probably duplicate this one as well. What this is, is you make a guile or an intimidate test. The foe must resist with awareness or become disoriented. While disoriented, your foe must spend 1 additional AP for reactions until the end of combat. The action economy in the game is everyone's got 3 AP.
Okay.
So what you would do is that would be a way of basically making it so they'd have to spend 2 AP if they want to parry or dodge against anyone's attacks on them.
Okay.
So that's another reason for why that might be of value.
Here's the flip side. If I swap techniques,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do the revelry thing when we rest.
Yeah. Revelry is independent of your techniques. Just give you certain abilities that are either like passive bonuses or actions you can take, or an extinguish action. When you extinguish one, you're not going to be able to use those specific techniques. But revelry is just an independent part of the game mechanic. It just happens to make use of the only thing that extinguishing does is it prevents you from using that technique in that slot until you finish a rekindling, which you'll do once you make camp.
Oh, see, I thought this was the either or technique. I'm sorry.
It is, yeah. What it means is you can have either